Speaking, as my colleague just said, about DACA is a very emotional experience, and we've heard lots of comments today, but I'm a proud author of H.R. 66. As that announcement came down from our federal government a few weeks back, one of the first things I thought of was, again, as a classroom teacher, were the students that I've taught over 30 years. And I just want to paint a picture of just one family out of the hundreds and thousands of families that I've taught over 30 years. It's the Alvarez family. The Alvarez family has 8 kids in the family with a single mother who worked 2 jobs, and 4 of those students were in my class over the years in a GATE class. These were some of the most creative, hardworking, talented, well-mannered students I've had over the years. One of the older brothers who was not in my class but was just graduating from high school used to come in and volunteer and even go on field trip as his mother was working, and the kids always wanted their older brother to come. It dawned on me maybe a year later, because I had the kids for multiple years, why is Uriel not able to go? So one day I asked him on the trip, how come you're not at school? Or why aren't you going to community college? And that is when he told me his story about being a dreamer. And not only his story about it being a dreamer, but all the other impacts that were happening with his family. Everything from housing to even being able to get a driver's license at that time. In 2012, when I had the opportunity to serve here, I was so proud of with some of the legislation we had passed over those years to support Dreamers in college. And I remember at that time in 2012 thinking, I'm in a swing district. These are votes that are not easy. These are votes that I know that some will use against me. But when we are in tough times, this is what defines leaders. When leaders can stand up, when they can speak up, and they can show leadership for those that don't always have a voice, that aren't on this floor. And so I will always speak up for those families that I know in my community, whether they're DACA, whether other families who are fighting to do what we are doing to have the American dream. And that is just for a good job, to work in safe conditions, to be able to come home, make sure their kids are doing soccer or some type of activity, and for them to be the role models they are for me. Not for me to be their role model, but for them to be the role models that they are to me. Because I can tell you, these families work harder than many of us have worked in a day. So I proudly stand with our DACA students, and I urge an aye vote.